it's a blessing to be involved and considered for album of the year or whatever, you know. I don't know, I think I've wanted it for so long, from being a kid and it being Dizzy Rascal winning it, and then felt like that was something we aimed, it was one of the goals we set out for when we made the album. Like, this is what we want to do. You have to have like your aspirations and things to tick off, and that was one of them. So then that was like, to me, it's just that it's like achieving what you set out to do. It's like the greatest, most rewarding feeling. For my album to be recognised and my music to go down, and either way, whether you win it or not, you're solidified in history as being part of it. So it just means the world, really. Well, it's just frustration, like growing up, being told a certain history, and then when you do your research, seeing there's actually a lot more than meets the eye, and then just asking like, what's great, what is great, and then it was like I needed to find my own answer, and then I found it, which was the communities and like the people that make it up as a country, same as anywhere. I feel like it's not just a thing. The title may seem like it's relatable to just people who live in Britain, but it's a worldwide thing. It's like we forget how much power we hold, and it's like at this point in time, especially in the UK, democracy is dead, you know what I mean? Like, don't matter how you sugarcoat it. So I want to put back into the community, and I want to also like just bring it back together, bring people back together and realise how much family means, and it all matters. We're so disconnected through social media and things like that in this day and age, where I feel like we've all lost track of it, and now everyone feels it's more depression, more suicide, more mental illness. And it's like all these things of disconnect where we really just need to bond together and be one, you know what I mean? Like, we always look and give our, like, you let people speak on our behalves, and they like speak, they do us wrong, or they may not think or see how we see it, see eye to eye, but like, it's you as a person, it's you as an individual. Like, we can't do it solely. We all have to speak our minds and come together and find some solution, rather than just relying on someone who doesn't understand the way of life to talk for us.
When I see your fans on social media, you mentioned that talking about it, they say you're honest.
Yeah.
You're open, you're emotional, you're always saying what you're thinking.
Yeah.
How do you feel now? I mean, like 30 years ago, men in the industry, they were cool and they didn't really talk about these things, or they thought they were cool until they never.
Yeah, I think nowadays you can't, like, all that stuff was people hiding behind things, toxic masculinity mainly, or be it an image, and it was like, nowadays you can't do that, people figure you out, and it's like, why? That's what creates more people wanting to just kill themselves because they can't live in this life because they feel they're living up to something they're not. There's too many expectations, whereas if you eliminate that and you're honest and you're your true self, no one can ever say nothing to you because you already know who you are, you know what you're about, you own up to it. It's like one of them things. Some of the realest people I know and the strongest people I know are the most emotional, and they're the most in touch with their feelings and things. And it's like people have that thing, like, keep a stiff upper lip and like just hold it. But why? That's what creates you to, in your mind, lose your head and just sit in a room and feel like you've got nobody but yourself. And you can't actually speak your feelings because you've never been honest with anybody. So it's like, it's just a cycle that goes round, and it just keeps you in a place where you can't do nothing because you're just depressed, because you're not who you are. So like, for me, like, learning, spending a lot of time trying to fit into different groups and like different circles and all that, I realised that none of it's for me. I didn't find anywhere I fit in because I wasn't about any of them things. I wasn't being honest with what I liked and like what I know best and what I'm into. So it just took me, I just had to figure it out. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to show people, no matter how hard it's been, or how much in your life, or how little you have, be happy and like just figure out what it is that makes you feel good internally, and hold on to that until you can't feel bad anymore.
There's one line that you have that really resonated with me, and from the start you say, told as kiss, just imagine, do anything as long as you do it with passion.
Yeah.
Is that something now that you want to tell people? Like,
yeah.
Is that something that
I think it's always been a thing as well. Like, no one believes they can do anything in life because you're told, oh, find something you're good at and stick to that, or get a trade and Like, it's all about finances and like money and like support and these, like, it's just really. And it's like, just live, man. Stop trying to do something you enjoy doing, yeah, and do it with all your heart's content. Even if you're broke, even if you're never gonna make money from it, why do it for something that in the end you're not gonna be able to take it with you anyway? You're never gonna leave nothing behind, all for the sake of you wanted a house. And it's like that old fairy tale, like you get a house, a mortgage, you have kids, you're married, you spend your life together. The reality of that is, it's not a reality. It's just like a social construct to keep us in this line. And like, we don't need it. Be free. Like, you was born to explore and like travel, and variety is the spice of life. So why are you gonna have one biscuit for the rest of your life? You know what I mean? Yeah. After a while, that biscuit gets like stale, and you're like, I don't even want this anymore. And that's like everything in life. Like, you get to a point where you're fed up of it all, unless it's something you enjoy doing. And that's the most important thing. My mum told me, find something you enjoy doing and you'll never work a day in your life. And like, I've not worked today, you know what I mean?
You enjoying this?
Yeah, I love this more than anything. I love this more than standing on a street corner being a you know what I mean? Like, I feel like I've made positive changes for myself and the people around me, and there's nothing better than that feeling. There's nothing better than that.
You talk about social issues and you get quite political in it.
Yeah.
Did you grow up thinking you were always quite a political person, or is this
Nah,
something that you've become more aware of?
I think it's like I've become more aware, and it's like undeniable, it's in your face everywhere, and it's just something I've found frustration towards. So like, anything that annoys me, I'm going to speak about because I'm getting it off my chest. Like, I just never... when I was younger, I didn't have time. I was always in circles where that was not. And I was like, maybe it dumbed me down to all this stuff. And then when I did, I've seen it and I've seen it for what it was. I was like, nah, man. And that's where the frustration was really there. Because it's been happening for years, long before I was ever spoke anything political. I just didn't have the attention to it. But then at the same time, it's in the pubs, man. When we're growing up being a little kid and standing around the sports, we call it. It was like a pub. And that would be like, you go in there and they'll have, yeah, can you believe, you know what I mean? It's like, it trickles down, and I would have heard it, but I wanted to play football. I wanted to make money. I didn't care about Tony Blair. He come to my school. Tony Blair come to my secondary school. Like, flew in on a helicopter and landed on our football pitch. And I'm not going to lie, I was like, whoa, but the guy never done nothing for me, and he took our people to war. For what? For the sake of money again, and like a CV. That's all it is. Anyone in politics is in it for their CV. They want to move up and up. I feel like we're in a place where it's all just confusing. You don't know what's going on. And then it's like, one way of democracy, you sign all these petitions, and like, don't happen. It's like they find a way to close it off. Then Boris goes to the Queen, who, like, in my theory, why do you get a say on anything? Like, you don't do anything. Like, you've got the Prince's Trust or whatever, which in turn is other people saying what's going to look good for them. Like, it's all just I don't believe in any of it. I don't believe in the social constructs we have. I don't have like this hierarchy. Like, how can you pass everything to force something through when the people are screaming for something opposite to what you're doing? You get in power, and then it's just glorifying people not having a say. That's more of a dictatorship than a democracy. But it's like one of them, I can lead a horse to water, but I can't make it drink. So, like, take from it what you will. I don't believe I'm like the one who's gonna make everything right, because I might have some ideas that are completely wrong. I'm just sparking a conversation and provoking a thought where you have to think for yourself. And that's like, I feel like everything's so accessible that we don't think for ourselves. We just see where it is and then just follow that. Whereas you need to read into things and realize the world we're living in, like what's actually going on. Like, don't miss out on it, because when it all starts going wrong, then you'll be the first person to complain, but you didn't do nothing to stop it or prevent it. With me, I don't think it's ever that deep. It's like, it's just feeling, like I go off of what feels right. So And what comes into my head, what's annoyed me, well, it's just feeling. Some days I might not write anything, other days I'll write something. And with them, it's just that vibe. You catch a vibe, you make a tune, and if the tune's a banger, it's a banger. If it's not, it's not. It's like, live to make another song another day, innit? If I was Prime Minister, I'd sort out like everything that's on drugs. I'd basically make it a thing where like we basically monitor it and we sort it out, so it's like a thing of we ain't wasting money trying to shut all these things down, which proof's in the pudding. It's never going to stop. It's always going to be the same. But make it a way where like it's another form of something that can help the economy, can boost it. And as well, it's a way you can attract tourism, like through, be it weed or whatever, you know what I mean? And then it's also a way we can just, like, people ain't going to be doing it. It's like one of them things, if you've got no options, it frees up jobs, allows people to work. So then people ain't turning to it to just be on badness to make money, because they have an opportunity, even if they are like a criminal or what. I hate saying all that, like them terms.
The circumstance.
Yeah. Depending on their circumstance, it's like you can't write someone off. But it just allows us to put more money into other things, and like the police would be of a better use elsewhere, like actually chasing people that are trying to kill people. And like then the knife crime. But that's never gonna stop. Where there's drugs and there's people trying to make money in situations, it's always gonna be a result. But it's like, what can we prevent? It's not how can we eradicate, it's prevention. So that's the longest way to explain that. No. But more, I would figure out how to prevent knife crime, and I'll stop pouring money into stopping the war on drugs, basically. Legalising it in a way where it's like people, it's not like you're freely going and getting it, because people die every day from overdoses and stuff. So it's like, moderate it in a way, because people are entitled to do what they want with their body. It don't make it right. But who's to say you're right for saying this or this? Who's to say it's right if someone doesn't want to live their life? Who's to say it's right that they have to? You know what I mean? We're all in control of our own destiny. So, like, just stop trying to control people.